In this lesson, I'll be showing you how to find properties that have sales history. Maybe you're looking for some properties that have recently sold. I'm going to show you a couple different methods to do that. We're going to start off by going, of course, to our home page. We'll scroll down to Search Properties. I'm going to go into the Search Parcel Database for this option. I'm going to look at a specific account. So here we have a property that sold in November of 2020. Maybe I want to see what properties are selling around me. So I have a couple different choices here. The first choice is looking at the subdivision sales. So I can click this button. It will show me the sales for this specific subdivision. Now you'll notice that this says Section 3. So if you're wanting Harvest Hill South Section 1 or Section 2 or more, then you would have to perform a separate search for each of those subdivisions. But I simply click the Subdivision Sales button. It's going to show me the sales listed by sale date so that I can see that there were several sales in this subdivision last year, about the same number for 19 and 18 and so forth. So I get the information, the sale date, the address, and the sale price. Looking at the page again, these are the comparable properties that were used for the valuation set on this year for the property. So for 2021, we used what's called the market or sales approach on residential properties, so that we see that this particular property, they're listed by relevancy. So the first listed property is the one that most closely resembles this property in age, size, condition. And then of course we list them in order with the actual sale amount. So pretty easy to find that information for sales. But maybe I want to look at a more broad approach. I'm going to go back to the main search page. At the very bottom, we have what's called a sales and deed transaction search. Now, this is going to be a search by deed transaction, which will include sales, ownership transfers, multiple sale deeds. So real quickly, I can simply just leave the boxes as they're defaulted to, hit the Submit Query button, and I'm going to get every deed transaction starting at January 1 of 2021. So here we see residential properties, agricultural properties. Some have sale price, some of them do not, and that's because of the type of deed. We'd have to go back. That maybe we only want to see deed types that are sales. So I have to select this from the drop-down list, and these are all different types of deeds that are a transfer. So you'll see the deed for sale doc. A DMP will stand for a multiple parcel sale, where you might have buy two houses or more, or two properties on one deed. Simple ownership transfers and so forth. So if you're wanting to see sales for 2021 for all property types, I can do that. So now we have sale prices. Now these are considered all sales. So let's take it a step further. Maybe we only want to see commercial sales. So I'll do the same, select commercial properties. Now we're pulling only transactions that are commercial property related. So we're filtering down or funneling down. So as we move forward, we can even specify what type of building. Maybe I want to look at office property, so I'm going to put a percent sign, which is a wildcard search feature, and I'm going to type in the word office. So now I'm looking for properties that have sold by deed, that are commercial, that the building or structure type is related to an office. Hit search. So here's our results. Deed transactions that are sales, that are commercial, that have a building associated to it as office. So you see office style, office building, office condominium, listed by city. So let's take it another step further. Maybe we only want to see all those with that criteria that reside in the city of Edmond. So real quickly now I can see that there was 4 commercial properties that had an office style building associated to it that was in the city of Edmond that were sales. And I can do that with any type of building as well. Maybe I just want to come in and just say, show me everything that had a deed transaction with the word, let's use auto. That way we're looking for car wash, automatic, auto dealerships. So real quickly I can get a lot of information real easy just based upon the type of structures. In this case you'll see it brought daycare because it's looking for the wildcard CAR, so daycare as returns as well. So now you can look for specific types of properties. You can look for any transaction or all transactions. You can narrow them down by the type of deed. You can narrow it down by the property type, even to the city. This is where you would also look for vacant tracts of land. So maybe I want to see all land sales or transactions that are vacant tracts of land. So here I can quickly see what vacant land sales would be. Quite a few of them to go by, but then of course you can narrow them down by types, cities, and so forth. Pretty easy. All right, one more step we can look at. Let's go back, and I'm just going to pull the very first one. That's a sale. So here we're looking at a particular property. I'm going to open up our mapping service, and it's going to open up the map. It's going to zoom down to a specific property, highlighted in green. I'm going to go to the Layers tab. I'm going to show you a feature where we will visibly show you sales from prior years, but visibly on a map. So I'm going to go to Annual Deed Filings. I'm going to open it with the plus sign. Here we have 4 years of deed transactions. And I can also click the down arrow, and it's going to give me a color legend so that I can see visually on the map what color represents the property types. By placing a check in the box, it's going to turn on all those transactions so that I can quickly see what's happening around this area. The blue represent the residential properties, and as we zoom out, here we see some commercial, different colors, and of course if we want to look at the county as a whole, we can see that. But if we want to see those sales in a little easier view, I can turn the background off, which is the OpenStreetMap service. By turning that off, now I'm simply looking at the parcels that have changed. So these are all the deed transactions that happened for 2020. So lots of transactions going on here. And if I want to see additional years, I can do the same. Just put a check in the checkbox. It will draw those in for me. So you can see still more activity and more activity. So now real quickly I can see what's happening around a certain property. I can see what type of activity, what type of sales were there. So really easy to find it, and then you simply have to click on the parcel, get the ownership information, take us back to the other pages where we can see all the information in regards to the ownership transfer, photo sketches, comp sales, all that other information. So it's just a different way of finding sales, just whichever easiest for you, or particular what sales you're looking for. But a different type of search.